afternoon and welcome to the May residence meeting. I want to explain beforehand that we've been having microphone problems, and we can only have one turned on at a time. And so that means that I'm not going to be able to give introductions for everybody. They're going to just start when it's their turn, because turning these on and off is a delicate thing. I would like to open up the meeting by having Don Jones give the invocation.
Shall we pray? Almighty God, we thank you for the gift of life and hope that you have given us. We're in a world in which we think of things as big, and big is better. But we remember that small things are important. To realize that the little silver needle that we all have, if we did not have that, we probably would be back in blankets and skins. Doors that are big but are opened by tiny brass keys. And so as we plan for the future, may we realize that the little things are important, because that is what we build upon. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Don. At this time, we're going to have the secretaries and treasurers report, and maybe some more nice smiling faces will drift in and fill the rest of the seats. Next time you come, make sure to invite your neighbors. So I'll turn it over to the secretary right now.
Thank you, Catherine. Madam President, the Westminster Village Residents Association meeting minutes dated April 13th, 2021 have been duly transcribed and distributed. I move they be adopted.
I second that motion.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The motion passes. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Better hold it out a little. I'm Mimi Severs, your treasurer. And we began the month of April with a balance of $9,331.33. We had one wonderful deposit to the Employees Gift Fund, an early deposit of $1,000. And we had one disbursement in the amount of $183, leaving us a balance on April 30th of $10,148.33. And that is composed of the Employees Gift Fund balance, $5,679.78, the Caring Lenders Fund balance of $4,468.55, for a grand total of both funds $10,148.33. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to turn my mic off, and Sandra's going to turn hers on, and we'll see if this works.
I'm Sandra Harris, Chairperson of Dining Services. I hope you can hear me back there because I'm soft-spoken. And I will, with friends like this, who needs enemies? Okay, I'm going to start with the Mother's Day celebration and feast that we had on Sunday. For those of you who were with us dining in, I'm sure you will agree with me that seeing the dining venues filled with families and friends at tables was very heartwarming. It was just wonderful to see that. And the staff served 220 people in the dining rooms. So professionally, the servers were very professional, the food was delicious, the rooms were beautiful, and I couldn't be more proud of the dining services team. Later this month, on Memorial Day, we'll be having the traditional barbecue lunch. Sunday the 30th, we'll have our regular Sunday buffet, and then the next day, Monday the 31st, we'll have the barbecue lunch that we're used to having. And certainly invite all of you to make your reservations and attend that. May is a very full month for dining services. As far as I know, Donnelly's is going to open in May. Yay! We've been waiting. I don't have a specific date, but it should be pretty soon that we'll be hearing about it, and we'll all be hearing about it together. The Dining Services Committee thinks that when we go out to dinner, that means we're going to Donnelly's. We don't have to go out into the community, broader community, because we have Donnelly's right here and can get as fine a meal as anywhere else for maybe a quarter of the price or so much less expensive. So we'll soon be able to celebrate all of our occasions and invite out-of-town guests in, etc., to Donnelly's. That means that the heavy hors d'oeuvres and the happy hour in Jayhawk that we have been enjoying will be discontinuing when Donnelly's opens. That makes sense because that took the place of dinner. And we will have the Garden Cafe, Ocotillo, and Donnelly's. So there will be light fare available in the Jayhawk Lounge for you to enjoy with your drinks. I'd like to say just a word about the community table and its purpose. The committee has asked that the community table be located back to where it was before. Now, our new residents don't know where it was before, but right as you walk into Ocotillo, to your left would be a rectangular long table that you can just walk in, no reservations, no standing in line, and have a seat and you'll be served. Anytime that you don't have other plans, or you're a single like I am, and want to eat with other people, and want to make new friends, that's what the community table is for. The committee was concerned that our new residents might think that it was reserved for the community outside, like that's their reserved table, but that's the opposite of that. It's reserved for you. It's reserved for me. It's reserved for us. Anytime that you just want to walk in and be seated, that's what the community table can be. So I encourage you to utilize the table. I just want to say again that I feel so proud of the dining services team, how they came together during all of this terrible time, and how they pivoted to do whatever was needed to keep us safe and to continue to provide the broad range of meal choices that we have. unlike other senior residential communities who really cut back. So we can see the manager who was hired to be the manager of Donnelly's ended up the manager of a new grocery store in-house. But the managerial skills, were very well used, and servers became carriers of the food, and so they just adapted so beautifully. And anytime you see any member of the dining services staff, or really any staff member here, to remember to thank them, to express your gratitude, and know that behind their mask, they're smiling back at you.
Hi, I'm Eleanor Fredrickson, and I'm Chair of Marketing, Communications, and Administration. Kathy McCullough has reported that we have currently 7 vacancies. Closer. Okay. 3 move-ins in April. There are 3 apartments under contract, and 12 apartments which have been sold are under renovation, which means that our construction company is very, very busy. Marketing is concentrating on tours and, of course, on selling. Kathy is working on a new branding guideline, which will be launched soon, which means we're going to acquire a new logo for Westminster. Best of Valley voting is in full swing until May 21st. We encourage you to vote every day. And we know we are the best, but let's make it the best again. Tom Winkleman reported that we're switching to a software called Office 365, which will bring our employees all onto the same format. It also will improve our billing eventually and enabling residents to pay online on a secure format. In communications, Kim Evenson is finding new ways to improve our involvement in the greater community, which I think is absolutely wonderful. We have donated 1,200 pounds of food to St. Mary's Food Bank. During COVID, we needed to purchase and to store large amounts of food so that our residents and our employees could purchase the food without having to stop at the grocery store. We're very grateful that we could make this sharing possible for those that need it. We also have donated medical equipment to Phoenix Rising in Haiti and crutches for Mexico. And many of you have asked about this before, but the cabinets that are taken out of the apartments, many of them are in really fine shape. And so they now are being taken out carefully and donated to Dream Center, which is a refuge facility for girls 18 to 25. Megan Borrego in Human Relations is planning to restore programs for the employees that had been in place before COVID. New employees are given orientation so that they know the overall policies of Westminster. And our CEO, Tom, is now going to again offer once a month breakfast and dinners to our employees, which gives them an opportunity to ask questions and bring up their concerns. And as Sandra was just saying about tell our employees how great they are, use your pat on the back and express your thanks to these employees. We're going to resume our pat on the back in June, and it's great fun to see the awards that our employees get as a result of what you mail in, and they all get these pat on the backs afterward to read what you have sent in. Send them in often. Anna Carrillo reported for administration, telling us that Diane is new at the front desk. Please welcome her. Our guest suites have been pretty much filled for May, and it's Anna that you would reserve them through. And once again, we're offering transportation to grocery stores and to other stores. Sign up in the K lobby in the transportation binder. If you don't know where the K lobby is, you go that way through the library and go to the nearest exit, which is an outside door, and there's a big K on the wall. The binders are below that K. So we thank you also, Anna, for your TiVo running, and I know there are a lot of people here that are very thankful for that. So, thank you, Anna. And now for complete information on my committees, please read the minutes that come out, and Sue will get them to you a few days later.
Hi everybody, I'm Joanne Benzer. I'm the chairman of the Health Services Committee and very proud to be so. I see, I think, all my committee here and some former members of the committee in the audience. You don't know how hard they do work, and we're beginning to even get busier now, so I want to personally thank you all in front of the whole group here. Someone I want to particularly announce as a new arrival to the Health Services team, and a very, very, very important new arrival. I think she's been here maybe as much as 3 or 4 weeks now. Is Lori here? I don't think I see her. Okay. Her name is Lori Zavan, like Zavan vehicle, Lori Zavan. She's going to be our new Director of Home Health and Wellness. Madge's old position, if you will. Thank you, Anne. She solves all our problems. Anyway, Lori Zavan has joined us. You'll be seeing a lot of her, and she'll be doing a lot of presentations going forward. We're very, very fortunate to have her. She came to us from Pueblo Norte. Many of you know, she was there for 11 years. She comes with a great deal of communication with outside sources. She knows a lot of people, a lot of services, both in the valley and outside and elsewhere. So she's going to bring us an amazing amount of talent, and we're really looking forward to having you all meet her and hear from her and what have you. She is currently looking for the home services person that's going to be hired, so that position is soon to be filled as well. So Todd is making progress with the restructuring of health services, and it's coming along pretty nicely. A lot is occurring, and so, please bear with on all of that, but Madge will be taking over the position of director now. Michael will be helping in that transition, and then moving down to Wyrick to help transition as Don leaves us. His contract is up shortly. And that reminds me to tell you, as Eleanor did, there's a tremendous amount of detail in health services minutes this month. The various department heads have many items in their particular reports, let me put it that way. So I want you all to take time to look at those and read those carefully, because they may bring about some questions, and I'd love to hear from you if you have them. I'm going to focus on a couple of things, and some I'm just reiterating, because we think that they're so important that you all make sure that you know about them. If you're wondering about boosters for COVID-19, if and when we hear that they are available, we will definitely have a clinic here to provide them, as we have always done through Walgreens clinics. So as soon as there's one available, Walgreens will provide a clinic here, and just so that you can kind of count on that happening. We have a wonderful partnership with Walgreens that helps make that happen for us. And Walgreens reminds me about something that I haven't mentioned lately. We have a wonderful service here at Westminster, and that's the delivery of medications. If you're not, and you'd like to have your medications delivered here, so you just have to walk down to the wellness center and pick them up, that can happen for you. If you're interested in having that happen, contact Christy in the wellness center. Both Walgreens provides that, and another sort of family boutique pharmacy called the Ranch Pharmacy also provides that service. So if you're not getting it now and you'd like to have it happen, give Christy a call at the wellness center. If you're wondering where the fitness machines are currently, they have been moved from places around campus that they were located at during pandemic and are for the most part all of them back in the fitness center. Staff is thinking about the next phase, and the goal really seems to be to have 2 locations for the fitness machines, but they're working on that. They're still talking about it, considering it, what have you. So right now, stay tuned on that, but the plan is to have 2 locations for the fitness equipment going forward. Hydration, that popular topic, and I know you're probably tired of it, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. Please shoot for those 8 glasses a day. And I know that's pretty hard to do, but it's really important because we hear reports that a lot of people are ending up in the hospital because of hydration issues. So, you know what I do? I set a timer. Because I sometimes get so involved in doing whatever the heck it is I'm doing, I forget to drink my water too. So I set a timer that goes off and I go get my glass of water. So just a little tip. Let home health know. And my mantra for today. Let home health know if you are considering or have scheduled a surgery or a medical procedure. A couple of reasons. First, that's one reason we all moved here, is for help with those kinds of things. Secondly, it allows them to know what's going on and to help you through the process of making plans. They all vary depending on who you are, what you're having done, and what have you. The important thing is to call them and let them know that you're having such a procedure done. Call 2060 for the RN case manager in charge. This is in the minutes, so you can look it up when you get back. But please, folks, do that because we're finding that a lot of people forget that that's something that they need to do. And one of the positions that's filled on an interim basis now and will be on a full basis going forward is one that will help you through all those transitions. Who to call, working with the hospitals, all that kind of stuff. So it's important to keep it in mind. Likewise, call them if you have an accident. You know, you fall, you hit your leg, you do whatever. Dial, it's real simple, dial 0, pull the cord in your apartment, or press your alert when you're in the apartment. If you don't have an alert button, which is on a pendant or a watch, you can get one at the front desk. It usually takes a couple weeks to get it, but please see that you get one if you don't have it. But if anything happens, please dial 0, pull the cord. And finally, this is something I'm pretty excited about. Well, since we're able to have meetings again, the committee is spending its time brainstorming and collecting topics that we need to cover at meetings like this, at smaller meetings, when something important comes up, maybe just scheduled Q&A with health services people, whatever it might be. We're building that list, and they're going to be scheduled, and you'll be seeing more about it in communications. Delivery, that'll be decided upon based whatever the topic is. It might be, again, a session here. It might be something done for Channel 22. It might be something that's put on YouTube. Whatever the topic needs, we'll see that it gets delivered appropriately. And one of the items that's going to be done that way for sure, I'm going to hold it up again. This is the health services guide that I referred to last time. If you don't have one, you can get one from the marketing office. We're going to do sessions, a separate session for Life Care Community and the community group. So watch for information on that soon. We'll be doing those, and we'll probably be repeating them on a regular basis of some sort. So that's all of my tips for today. Please do read the minutes, because there's a lot in there. And if you need anything, you know where to reach me. It's in the directory, phone, or email. Thanks very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Carolyn Mendoza, and I'm the chairman of our Activities Committee. The Activities Committee welcomed a new member to our committee this month, Liz Howard. And I can't say enough about the activities staff here. They've been working really, really hard through this pandemic to give us things to do. And now that things are loosening up a little bit, they're really working hard to come up with some new things for us. There'll be some new activities, and some of the popular old activities will be coming back. Drumming Circle will be starting again soon. I know a lot of you enjoy that. Lifelong Learning will be back this fall, and transportation to churches started this past Sunday. The activities staff are also working with the marketing department to come up with what they're calling a game contact list. That's to help new residents connect with groups that play different games like bridge or whatever. If they're interested in that, then someone will make contact for them so they can get started and join that kind of a group. Field trips in the van are going to be changing to some new destinations. Residents have suggested a shredding event and Zumba classes again, and the activities staff is working on getting some of the clothing vendors that used to come here to come back, but that will probably be fall till they can get that arranged. I've been getting several comment cards, and other members of our committee have received periodically comments about the TV programs starting late, and they end up calling the front desk and asking to start it. The front desk does start those movies, but you need to be patient and understand that if there are people at the desk that they're taking care of, they can't start the movie, and they will do it as soon as they can. But that's sometimes why there's a delay, and perhaps something in the future can be done about that. But right now, that's one reason, or the main reason, why your movies or TV programs may not start exactly on time. I'd like to encourage all of you to stop by the flyer table by the post office and take a look at what activities have been arranged and are coming up. And if you have suggestions, please feel free to contact me or send a note to the activities staff, and we'll see if we can get some of your requests taken care of. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Bernie Curry, and I'm chairman of the Plant Operations Committee. And contrary to what Frank has urged us to do, I am not going to make love to the microphone. Catherine was wanting to increase the attendance here at these meetings. My making love to the microphone is not going to help. Actually, the microphone is not my type. The one that Anna took away was, you know. Anyway, I don't want this meeting turned into an X-rated meeting, but what the heck. Let's talk about landscaping. That's a safer topic, I guess, guys. The contractor has finished checking with the drip system and making sure they all work. They've replanted all the summer flowers. Now, if the drip system is working, the flowers may last, okay? We'll have to see come August what everything's like. We're in the process of replacing the grass with artificial grass. Looks pretty good in the cul-de-sac, and the 5-year plan is to continue on to replace parts of it, but we're going to leave some areas alone for the dogs. Okay, the dogs have to have a place, period. Some of the residents are not picking up after their dogs. For a month there, I thought it was getting a lot better, but it has slid back this past month, so please, people, remember to pick up after your pets. The olive trees have been trimmed, and they look pretty good. But I would like Tom to walk underneath the last olive tree on the south side of the cul-de-sac, the last one. I'd like him to walk under it without a helmet. It used to be in the past we'd get either Tom Tucker or Tom Winkleman to walk underneath the trees to make sure they were trimmed up high enough for everybody. But the one tree on the south side of the cul-de-sac, farthest one east, is down a little bit lower. I even have to duck as part of it. Let's go on to housekeeping. We have one new hire, and it's a janitor. And Coit has been given the green light to come on the campus here to do deep carpet cleaning, and they do a pretty good job. I'm not an advertisement for Coit, but the wife and I went to Lake Havasu City about 2 weeks ago, and we had Coit come in to do the carpet cleaning with under the care of Nigel, and to get our ductwork cleaned, and it worked fine. They did a pretty good job. So if you need your carpet cleaned real deep, it's okay to get Coit to come in and do it. In the maintenance, the pool decking for the pool has been repaired and finished, and looks pretty good. They've added some piping into the east side of the J building to stop the fire alarms from going off in the middle of the night due to air in the pipes. They're looking at possibly making the changes that will solve that problem for the south side building. So you guys on the south side, the first 2 floors, you may yet have fire alarms going off in the middle of the night. We on the north side are all fixed up, okay? All three floors in the J building on the east side and the north building have been repainted, and they look pretty good. And the reason they had to be repainted was they took the cat's claw off the side, and when you take cat's claw off of the wall or something, it leaves a little bit of a mark every now and then. So they repainted it, and it looks pretty good too, okay? The maintenance has replaced 2 of the air conditioners in the hallways, and some of the hallways are getting cooled, but there's still 1 or 2 that are reading 80 degrees on the thermostats. And we're looking for 1 maintenance guy still. Mike is out for a while on medical leave, and we don't know when he'll be back, but Garth is still trying to find another maintenance guy. And the last item I'd like to talk about is one of my pet peeves. There was a sign on the east side driveway of the slow sign around the corner, and that seemed to be working real well as far as slowing the traffic down. One of the residents told me that they've noticed substantial decrease in velocity of the cars that go by there, especially between 7 and 8 in the morning when people come to work or when residents go out and that type of thing. So people have slowed down going that way, and it's helped. And then they removed the sign, okay, and it was gone. And then it came back for a day, and then this morning it was gone again. And I heard that they're going to put a sign up, a permanent sign up by the sidewalk, and put a slow sign on it around that corner. Well, we've tried that. We've put a stop sign in the back, we put the radar speed limit signs, and people just ignore them because it doesn't do anything. But putting that sign in the road stopped people to stay out and take a look before they went around that corner. And going around that corner at a high speed, somebody pulling out from the parking space on the south side of the building or walking across that driveway when somebody's coming around the corner, they can't see them, and they were going to have a wreck, okay? But with that sign in the road that we had in the road, it slowed everybody down, and I would like to know what the rationale for removing that sign was. But as of today, it was gone, and the plan as it stands now is to put a permanent sign up there, which I believe that everybody's going to ignore, just like they ignore the stop sign. Thanks. That's all I have to say.
I would like to add to plant ops that the issue with the carpet at Bernie's was rubber cement. So if you have spilled rubber cement on your carpet, call Coit. They can get it out. And Eleanor talked about the sign-up sheet for the van rides being over in the K lobby. I always thought that the K was there, so I knew I was going down the right hall to my apartment. Oh, and interestingly enough, the next door is the L door. I'm halfway between the K and the L. I can always remember where my apartment is. Bernie mentioned, I want a couple more things. I want to give, I don't think he's here, but I want to give a shout out to Matt. He sets up the room here and moves all these chairs and takes them down. And when you see him, give him a real pat on the back. And I forgot what I was going to say about Bernie. But that's okay. So I'm going to try to turn this one off so Tom can get turned on.
All right. So I'll answer Bernie Curry's questions or comments first. The stop sign should be back up, so I'm not sure why it was down today. Was it there this morning? Okay. So it should be back up. We don't know what we're going to do there yet, but we're looking for a more permanent solution. But that doesn't mean it's a fixed sign like the 10-mile-an-hour signs around. So we're looking at that, and we should have that temporary sign until we come up with a better solution. On the olive trees, I'm no longer qualified to walk under there because I'll get scalped and injured, so they don't let me test them anymore. But I know Mike is working on fixing that as well, because we should be able to walk through the whole campus without us taller ones losing the top of our head. Fire alarms. So this is normally like an hour-and-a-half conversation about fire alarms and fire safety on campus. Is it just me that hears this going in and out, or does it sound okay? Okay, all right. It's my ears then. So fire safety, the biggest questions when the alarms go off, we're very, very lucky. 99% of the time, almost 100% of the time, when the fire alarms go off at Westminster Village, it's a test, it's a false alarm, or it's somebody overheating something in their apartment. There's not a risk or a danger. But we cannot turn those alarms off until we find the source of the problem. So sometimes it's easy. It's the stuff in the microwave that was on for way too long, and you can walk down the hall and see the smoke. It's pretty easy. Sometimes it's a maintenance guy or a contractor's hit a sprinkler and knocked the sprinkler head off. And then other times it's just computer errors within the system. And we did have, it's probably been 2 months ago now, where we had the alarms going off mostly at 2 in the morning, but sometimes at 4 in the afternoon. And what that was from is, every time we remodel an apartment, we have to put a new sprinkler head in. We have to drain the sprinklers for that whole area and then refill them with water. Just like when you turn your water off to your sink or something like that, air gets in the line, and when the water first starts coming through, it blows out all that air. Same thing happens in the sprinklers. So when that air moves, and it normally happens at night as the building starts to cool off, those air bubbles move and they set off the alarm. And what the alarm thinks is water's coming out of one of the sprinklers. Our buildings aren't made to do as much changing of the sprinkler systems as they are, but we built our building 30 plus years ago. So what Garth from maintenance did to fix the solution is put in, basically it's like a pressure relief valve at the end of the system where you can drain all that air out. So we are going to do that with the rest of the building. It's going to take us probably about 4 to 5 months to do that. And then we shouldn't have that problem anymore or as often as we have it. It happens every couple of years, but when it happens, it sometimes happens 5 or 6 times before we can solve it. So again, shouldn't be a problem anymore by the end of the year. Hopefully won't be a problem in Mr. Curry's area, and hopefully won't be a problem in any areas. But what do you do when the fire alarm goes off? Most of the time, just stay right where you're at. In your apartment, the way our building is built is when you hear the K building and the L building, what that means to us is that's a different fire zone. That area is built not to contain the fire if it's in it, so it doesn't get to the next building. The heavy fire doors, the automatic doors, in the ceilings, there's systems that close the vents down so that if there is a fire in this area, it doesn't get into the next zone. Your apartments are all fire zones as well. So if there's a fire in the building, it should take hours for that fire to get from one area to the next. So the safest thing you do when those alarms go off is just stay in your apartment, and most of the fire is in your apartment. You can do just like we learned over the last years. You can check and see if the door is hot. You can look in the hallway, but you're going to know if there's a fire in the hallway or the outside and the smoke coming in. If that's the case, then go ahead and call the front desk. If the alarm's just going off, the worst thing you can do is call the front desk, because sometimes we get 30 calls to the front desk. And what they need is, they need to know if there's an emergency in your apartment. The fire alarm going off isn't an emergency in your apartment, because it's going off in that hallway and the hallway is connected to it. So if you would refrain from calling the front desk unless you need help in your apartment immediately, that's the best thing you can do. Typically those alarms go off within a minute or so. I know they're a pain, I know they're annoying, but we have to have them that way, because in that one case where there is a real fire, you want to know. And again, staff is going to be there. The fire department is typically here when we call them in under 2 minutes almost every time. So if there's a need to evacuate, we have the ability to do that. The fire department will help us lead that, our maintenance staff, our security staff. And again, it goes against everything in our natural instinct to just stay put, but that is absolutely the best thing you can do. Going through the fire doors puts people at risk, because the fire won't burn through most of those doors within a 2-hour period, but in a panic, people open them. People leave them open. And that's how the fire and smoke gets from one zone to the other. Most fires in a residential living place like this happen from one of 2 things. They happen from cooking and they happen from smoking. So we pretty much have a no smoking policy on this campus, but there's still that risk. It's an employee or a visitor smoking in the bathroom and then throwing their cigarette in the trash can. Or it's a resident cooking, leaving something on the stove, or turning their oven on, their oven that they use to store all their plastic goods in their oven mitts, the stuff they don't use any longer, that cause fires in retirement communities. So keeping your stovetop clean, keeping your oven only used for cooking is the greatest thing you all can do to make sure we don't have that. But the building is built to be extremely safe. It's built to contain fires in those small zones. Every part of our building is sprinklered, and if there's a fire in this room, we would all be probably way more wet than we would be in danger of the actual fire. So again, in most cases, stay in your room, stay in the dining room, stay in the library, wherever you're at. When that alarm goes off, it's typically going to go off pretty quickly, or you're going to have staff around you saying, we need to get to the next area that's safe. Any questions? Good. All right, well, thank you. No questions? Yes.
I forgot to adjourn the meeting. So I'm hitting the rewind button for about 10 minutes. Town talk. So the meeting is adjourned. Thank you for coming. And I see there's plenty of cookies, so enjoy some on your way out.